to the Ultimate Autographs podcast here in the Ultimate Autographs studio. I'm back with Adam and Griffin today. A whole bunch of new topics and something not new. The outfit I'm wearing for episode 3 is the exact same I wore for episodes 2 and 1. Blue sweatpants, a vest, and a hat.
We gotta like to see
for the audio listeners.
consistency.
For the audio listeners, I'm wearing the same outfit as I did the first 2.
You do have other clothes to confirm.
Maybe.
We appreciate the consistency, though. I mean, at least he's get the host. He's consistent.
Actually, I wore this quarter zip underneath my vest for the last episode as well.
That's your uniform. That's your podcast
So I am running low on clothes.
But
for today, we're talking a little bit of NBA playoffs, some new cards in the industry coming out, some big products, big hot products. We'll talk NFL futures, who's your yes team to bet on, who's your no team to bet on, MLB hot and cold. Also, you get one hot player, not looks-wise, batting average-wise, and then one cold player, could be looks-wise, but also batting average-wise. And then we'll round things off. Adam, it's your turn for 20 questions today. I hope you have the person in your head.
This is the first, we're 3 episodes in, this will be the first stump of the season.
Ooh, he's calling it. He's calling it.
Well, the first episode had Bruce Smith. Second episode, Griffin had Paul Konerko.
Yes.
See, I feel good about mine too, because it's a name that we all know. I mean, the average listener would know. And, but it's going to be tricky. It's going to be hard to get there.
That's good.
We'll see.
So like that guy that played on multiple teams, played a long time.
I'm not giving away.
Let's not get into it yet.
I'm trying to get him to show his cards a little bit here. We'll see.
Show your cards. All right, so the first thing we're sort of getting into are the NBA playoffs. A stacked Eastern Conference, couple matchups coming up. Celtics and the Bucks, and then the Raptors versus Sixers. I mean, hands down the 4 best teams on the Eastern side going at it. I mean, Celtics looked great. Kyrie Irving steps up in the playoffs like he usually does, and he led his team to victory, a clean sweep. And the Bucks, Giannis looks better than ever. So what do you guys think in the first Eastern Conference?
I mean, I think the first round was just a waste of time, honestly. I mean, you could have just started with these 4 teams.
Right.
And it would have been fine. A couple teams put up a little bit of a fight. We saw Orlando take game 1. That was kind of exciting. Brooklyn took game 1 as well. So it kept it a little interesting, but we quickly found out, as usual, that the better team always comes out in the NBA. First round is always pretty predictable.
Right.
But it's going to be awesome. This next round, it's going to be a dogfight for those 4 teams. I think any of those 4 could come out of the East and go to the NBA Finals and probably compete against Golden State or Houston or whoever comes out of that side. But yeah, I'm just excited to watch. I think there's a lot of good players, a lot of young guys in there too that will start making a name for themselves. That dude from Toronto, Siakam, he's tearing it up. I think he's outscoring Leonard in these playoffs by a decent amount at this point. But yeah, a lot of guys who we're used to seeing, but a lot of new faces too. So it's going to be an interesting battle in these.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Eastern Conference this year is as stacked as it's been in recent memory. I mean, the Bucks are well on their way. I think they're the favorite right now in the East. I mean, how can they not be? They just absolutely destroyed the Pistons, Celtics. Also, you got to watch out for them with playoff Kyrie Irving. He does want to be on the Celtics. He loves Boston. He doesn't want to leave, go anywhere. And then you got the Sixers versus the Raptors. Now the Raptors are like, whoa, look at that. We don't got to play LeBron James in the second round. So we'll see. I thought last year they were going to be able to beat the Cavaliers and LeBron, but they just can't beat LeBron. But this year it's different. They're facing a 76ers team that in their starting 5 is loaded. But the problem with the Sixers is they don't really have much of a bench aside of Boban. He's 7 foot, whatever he is, just a giant. I think it's going to be an exciting Eastern Conference semifinal.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like that time where now with LeBron being out of the East, it's like who's going to step up and be the face of the East? Is it going to be Embiid from the Sixers?
Right.
Is Kawhi going to stick around and be the one for the Raptors to take over the East? Giannis, I would argue, is probably the face at the moment. I believe he'll be going forward. And then who's that 14? Kyrie. If he sticks around in Boston, so it's like who wants to take the East? So whoever takes it to the finals, I think, is kind of the new king of the East.
Yeah, and you said you could pretty much skip the first round of the playoffs for these 4 teams being in. I think you could have skipped the entire regular season, and we still would have seen the 2 teams.
Top 4 teams.
These top 4 teams. But I like what you said about who's going to be the face. I mean, you kind of drift away from LeBron now being with the Lakers, not in the playoffs at all. who's going to be the new face of the East? You got to have someone with a big personality as well. I think Embiid does the
I
trick.
was gonna say, I know where you're going with this.
He's pretty funny. He's a good Twitter follow. He's just the traditional big man that's probably not in the NBA anymore. That isn't as sought out anymore. So Embiid does a great job handling himself too. He talks a little bit of smack here and there, but he backs it up. I mean, their team's successful. They'll be tough. They'll be tough to beat for the Raptors, I think.
Seems like he's always like on the fence every game about like if he's gonna play or not though. It's like he always has like some like nagging injuries. It's like turns out like 10 minutes before the game, he actually was a game time decision.
I think you see that too because I don't think we'll see that as much going
like
forward because it's like
like
okay, they're up 2-1 and they're who got first round Brooklyn. It's like all right, we're up 2-1, we're at home or whatever, and it's like we could probably get away with this W without anybody having to put some strain on himself. I think going forward he's going to play because I think they need him and there's no doubt that they need him. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. East is going to be interesting.
I think some of the games he sat out were for this reason because now they're going to need him more than ever. I mean, it's going to be a battle down low with Embiid, and it always is. And moving forward now to the Western Conference, last night, it is April 24th as of right now. Last night, Damian Lillard hit a 40-footer over probably the defensive player of the year in Paul George for OKC to seal the deal in the series. Waves goodbye to Russ on his way down the floor before being mobbed by his teammates. But that shot from Lillard, he's done it before. I mean, the guy's, I read a stat, I think it was NBA.com, 8 of 12 from shots over 30 feet or longer. That is incredible. Because 30 feet, you would expect guys to make 2 or 3 out of 12. Especially a guy like Damian Lillard's a point guard. He's bring up the ball before a point guard. And if you could set yourself up at 30 plus feet and knock down shots like that, you're dangerous. And he's arguably one of the best point guards in the league.
Yeah, you'd love to see it from a guy like Lillard. A small school guy coming out of college, West Coast team that never gets any love nationally. You root for the Trailblazers. You want to see somebody knock off the Warriors this year. Nothing against them, but it's nice to see someone different. So if a team, kind of an underdog, the true underdog of the West in Portland, could give them a run, I think that'd be great for the NBA. Kind of bring some fans back, and Lillard's a great guy to go after and root for.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's always been a guy who's, I think, in my opinion, deserved more as a player. He's never been in the finals. He's never been deep in the playoffs, just because his team around him wasn't always the strongest. So now he has a little bit of a better surrounding cast. McCollum's a baller. I mean, that guy can play. He's a great shooting two-guard. So, I mean, the Western Conference will be exciting as well. But another question I just thought of for you guys, now that LeBron's not in it, and we could have guessed the Warriors will be in this situation at the beginning of the season, just like we did for the Eastern side, how is it doing for viewership right now in the NBA playoffs? With no LeBron, the Warriors dominant as ever, do you think people are uninterested right now?
I mean, in my opinion, I don't see myself watching it as much as I have in the past, but then again, my team, the Bulls, are out of it, so that could be a huge reason
They were
why.
never in it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
I mean, it's just
they're long out of it, so my viewership personally has been down a little bit. It's interesting because I don't know. Do people want to see someone else take the crown? Are we sick of LeBron, or is it the opposite? Are people out of it because LeBron's not in it? I'd be interested to see those metrics when those final numbers come out. Me personally, I love it because if I am going to watch it, I want to see someone like Portland or see someone like Philadelphia kind of come back and finally win one. To me, I think it's great. I'm sick of the Cavaliers versus the Warriors, so anything new aside from that would be great in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think, anytime you have the greatest player in the game, of all time, it's a discussion for another day. But anytime you have a player like LeBron not in the playoffs, it's going to affect the ratings. I think definitely the ratings are going to be down this year as opposed to last year. The media coverage around LeBron every year in the playoffs, it seems like after every single game he plays in the playoffs, it's like, how does this performance affect his legacy? How does that performance affect his legacy? So
ESPN has nothing to talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
There's not as much media buzz around the playoffs this year, I want to say, but then on the flip side of things, without LeBron, it gives players like Giannis and Damian Lillard and some other guys chances to kind of be thrust into the limelight, like it's just made aware, in the future. You're going to be listening to this, but Damian Lillard did hit a 40-foot buzzer beater, so everyone's talking about that now instead of, LeBron scored 30, 13, and 9 in it. Cavs or Lakers or whoever still lost. It seems like it happens every day.
And I think so too. We talk about markets every show on this podcast, but no LA. I mean, you got the Clippers in there, but that's a small portion of the LA market that does watch. No Chicago, no New York, so overall ratings in general might be down just because those huge markets aren't in it right now.
And the Clippers are playing the Warriors, and Clippers fans are like, oh, damn, we made the playoffs finally after being bad, and we got to step up and play, the reigning champs and arguably the most dominant sports team of the 2010s.
If anyone knows that, don't sleep on the 8 seed, it's the Warriors, because they knocked off the Mavs, a decade ago? 8 seed, Steven Jackson, Barry Davis, took down
Monte Ellis?
Monte Ellis might have been around there. He was around there.
Monte Ellis.
Was Jason Richardson then? I don't know if he was on that. He was at some point.
My team that I'm jumping on the bandwagon of in the NBA playoffs this year is the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
See the Denver
That
Nuggets.
series isn't over yet, right?
No, well they just went up 3-2 last night
Against the Spurs.
I like that team. I think it's such like a different style offense. You have like Nikola Jokic running the show as like the point center, and he just kind of dishes it out to like Jamal Murray and Gary Harris, and then just drain threes. It's just Nikola Jokic is such a good passer, and he's just like the guy in the middle, just facilitating the offense. It's different and cool to see that kind of player, not just like a point guard just divvying it out like a Chris Paul.
Yeah, kind of going back to Portland, it's like there's not. I mean, you got a true star in Lillard on the Trailblazers, but Denver isn't. You don't have that one standout face of the franchise guy. I mean, Jokic is for sure, but he's not your
not there yet. Yeah.
Well, even then, it's not a guy where if you're an NBA team, like you're getting a Zion, a guy who's just the face of your franchise.
Yeah,
right.
You just don't see those big back to the basket centers anymore. A guy like Jokic, so it's like the Nuggets are doing it with just talent and not that superstar. So again, I root for teams like that just to mix it up and see if we can start a new generation of winners in the NBA.
It's definitely a different just overall feel to the playoffs this year. I mean, Golden State, every year it's like, okay, they lose one, and then I'm like, all right, that they were probably just thinking in the back of their heads, like, whatever, guys. It's one game. And we have like 3 more to go. Like, all right, if we lose 2, okay, now we're not messing around anymore. Like, we're gonna win there. It's like, do you guys think teams like even I know in the regular season they take games off, but in the playoffs it's like, we don't really need to win this one. We can wait a game to actually, take control of the series. If you're a favorite and like you've been there before, like the Warriors, or I don't want to say the Bucks have been there before, but like the Warriors, they lose game 1 to the Clippers, they blow a 31-point lead. That was like their wake up call. All right, guys, now let's play.
I think they weren't taking the game off, but as soon as they went up like 25, 30 points, they're like, all right, guys, we can just relax here, and we'll take KD out. We won't let him come in and score 40 tonight. We'll just let our backups go in. And all of a sudden, the Clippers started coming back, and they're like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. They can't come back this much. And all of a sudden, they win the game, and they're like, okay, I guess we can't do that in game 2. We'll have to try a little bit more.
Well, the old saying, the series doesn't start until a home team loses the game. So, the Warriors, they lost game 1.
That was game 1.
At home. So the series started like, all right, guys, can't do that again. So let's go.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about LeBron, but he just brings the excitement factor that you want to see. Back to the original point.
To me, it's like I just want the playoffs to be over. Not so much that I don't care, but it's like I'm so excited for off-season drama with the draft this year, with the
free agents,
guys in free agency, where it's like who's going to New York? Is Durant going to New York? Where's Irving going to go? Who's going to be traded? Where's Zion going to end up? So it's like, to me, my NBA Finals is really the offseason. That's what I'm truly waiting for. So just
and it doesn't help that you are a Bulls fan, and the Bulls have a very good pick this year, and will bring in a solid
anywhere from 4 to 6. Well, it could go as low as 6, which knowing our luck will probably be 6.
Yep.
So.
If we can be 7, we could be 7.
If we get top 2, obviously, if anyone gets top 2, they're going to be ecstatic. But if I would be just as excited with number 2, because then we're kind of forced to pick Morant.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I think Zion for sure is a better player. I'd rather have him, but it's like, we're kind of stacking the backcourt a little bit. With some young talent, Morant will probably fit better, but.
And let's be real, he's not going to drop the 2. Zion will not drop the 2.
No.
He's going
if
1.
you have number 2, it's Morant or
Barrett.
Zion falling due to concerns that he will literally bust out of every shoe.
Yeah.
In my mind, the offseason that's my true entertainment this year from 2019.
So overall, we do believe the conclusion was made that the NBA playoffs are a little bit slow this year in terms of viewership, just because.
Well, there hasn't been any games. Or not so much games, but series. It's been 3-1 for us.
Right.
And the only one that's good right now is
Denver.
Denver. But again, it's Denver. Nobody's not
Did Houston clinch? Did they move on and face the Warriors yet, or are they up? No, they're up 3-1. They're up 3-1. Utah won last night.
Right.
We're obviously recording this on
That could be another thing you were talking about. Like, can we take this game off? Yeah, we don't really need to win this game, but I'm sure any NBA team's thinking we need to sweep because we need to be ready for round 2.
Well, Utah was fighting for their lives last night. They were down 3-0. So
Right.
They stay alive.
There's always that hint of urgency when you get down 3-1, 2-0 even. You got to step up. You got to win game 3. Otherwise, your team's going to be in a big hole, especially in the NBA when any given guy on the team you're playing can go off for 40 in a night. We've seen Lillard do it, and I'm sure OKC wasn't expecting Lillard to take off as much as he did, especially with the front court of Paul George and Russell Westbrook. I mean, anybody should be defended pretty well if your front two are Paul George and Russell Westbrook. I mean, those guys can guard anybody, and for Lillard to show up and drop 40 and for the series win,
I like to see Lillard do this without Aldridge too. I think Aldridge should.
Yeah, true.
I mean, now he's in a lower seeded San Antonio. It'd been cool to see those two kind of finish it out and maybe make a bigger run, but yeah, Lillard's doing it with McCollum, and that's kind of about it.
Imagine if they Yusuf Nurkic still.
Yeah, he had that scary injury.
He's out of the playoffs.
So that's what I mean. It's like Lillard's really putting the team on his back.
Yeah.
His old supporting cast around him, it would be a different story.
Yeah, Nurkic is good. He's a good player too. He would definitely fit in even more in that rotation. He's a solid guy. So NBA playoffs taken care of real quick. Knock out some playoff talk going forward. Second round coming up. Next thing we're going to chat about a little bit. We always like to get into cards just a touch. I know Griffin, you're learning more as we go along. 2 big products coming out, and one has already come out. Flawless Football.
Well, I think actually the time that we filmed this, they'll both be out.
Yeah, they'll both be released.
One was coming out today.
Yep, April 24th release date for Panini Contenders draft picks.
One of my favorites. I know that's one of my opinions. That's one of my favorites. Some people don't care for it because it's all college, and it's hard to break because you don't have the NFL teams the time they come out. But I've always loved that series.
Yeah, I mean,
First rookie outdoors.
we always talk about, like we talked about in the last episode too, Bowman. It's just it's a lottery ticket.
Yeah,
if you get a guy that's a 3rd round running back and you get an auto out of like 99, that could turn into a $300-$400.
We were just having this conversation the other day. I held on to my Jake Butt number to 25. Beautiful card. I can't remember what the parallel was, but it's number to 25. And looking at the comps now, what they're going for, and I probably should have sold it at the time I pulled it, but it's hit or miss. You never know.
Right. That stuff, like we always say, is a lottery ticket, and that's a lot of the way the cards are going right now. Guys want the rookies and the prospects, and Panini Contenders draft picks is all prospects. Everybody that will be drafted is in the series. Kyler Murray,
DK Metcalf, a lot of the offensive threats. Yeah, they're in there.
All draftees.
It's all draftees.
All draftees, no current guys at all.
No, it does. So how it works is the base set. The base set of the series is they call it like the college ticket or the season ticket or whatever. I can't remember the exact terminology they use, but I think it's called season ticket, and it shows like Drew Brees, but it's like Drew Brees like in Purdue stuff. Show Mitch Trubisky, and it's him in.
Okay, so it's like current guys, but shows
it's
them
all-
in their
it's all
college
NCAA.
uniform.
It's a
and
college-based.
has their college stats on there.
And you're getting 6 autos per box.
That's pretty
which
cool.
That's nice.
I mean,
That's
you're
good.
paying around 130, 140, 150
So
bucks.
similar to that Bowman.
Similar to Bowman,
baseball.
but Bowman, you're getting
One.
one. And
Wait,
again,
same
that's-
price? The football box?
No,
you
this
get
one's a little more
6 autos?
expensive. It's a little more expensive. I don't think you get as many cards as far as base goes, because I think the base set is a little bit small. It might be the same, but a little bit less of cards. They don't have like the rookie base like Bowman does. But yeah, 6 autos, and again, these are almost guys who are guaranteed to make a roster. Whereas opposed to Bowman, you're getting a guy who's in single A. Like I think the guys we pulled, 2 of them were in low A, and it's like I would be surprised if they make it with their numbers now. But 6 autos, you can't beat that. Some are obviously better than others, depending on what you're pulling out of, whether it's a hobby box or just a blaster. If you're pulling out of a hobby, you're going to get something worth your while. At least one of the 6 where blasters, those are more so miss than hit, but you're getting something out of it. It's interesting. Not everyone loves it because it's all NCAA college stuff, but if you hit the right one, you're cracked ice, you're Kyler Murray.
Yeah, you get those inserts out.
value.
Yeah. Question I want to ask you guys, because we try to relate this as much to memorabilia as possible, and for this series, it's more cards. But Ohio State has 2 big prospects this year. I think of Dwayne Haskins, and they have Nick Bosa, who Bosa may go number 1 for all we know, but it may be Murray. But Bosa or Haskins, which one would you be more excited to pull in Panini Contenders draft picks? Being that Haskins is quarterback, and we always talk about quarterbacks have more value, but he'll be lower in the draft, or Bosa, who may go 1, definitely 2 if not 1, who would you be more excited to pull out of there? Who could have more value in terms of their cards?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
But to be honest, it does depend on where you're going to end up being drafted. Because then, you're dealing with a different market. I'd rather have a guy drafted by New York Giants than as opposed to drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Because resale value there is going to be a little bit different because you're dealing with a bigger market of people that are interested in that card. But I'd probably say Haskins, to be honest. Even if you told me Bosa was going 1 and Haskins was like 12, I just have seen the comps in the past of like where Deshaun Watson was drafted, even before he really even played. And that was even Myles Garrett went 1. So it's like, if you told me I could have a Myles Garrett right now or a Deshaun Watson, again, not without them even playing, I would probably lean toward Watson.
Right.
So yeah, for sure, the quarterback, the skill position makes you a little more excited than the defensive guy, no matter how good they are. But yeah, just based on the comps, I'm taking the quarterback.
Yeah, just using just the football, like my football instincts, just obviously just going to Nick Bosa, like no doubt. But just hearing what you had to say about obviously we talk so much about how the quarterback memorabilia market is king. Also, it depends on where they go. And Nick Bosa, Arizona card. Yeah, he went first overall, but the Cardinals doesn't really do it for me.
That market of fans.
Yeah.
You're dealing with a smaller bubble than you are a bigger fan.
If Nick Bosa drops to 2 and gets picked by the Niners, I'll go Nick Bosa Niners over Dwayne Haskins. I think the Niners they have enough of a fan base, an historical franchise. They're on the up and up. I think as long as Garoppolo stays healthy and they get Jerick McKinnon back, the running back they signed in the offseason last year.
That's twice they've knocked on wood.
Well, yeah, you gotta knock on wood. Superstitious guy. Gotta take care of it. I also apologize for my horrendous laugh earlier.
Yeah, that was pretty embarrassing.
I was like, yeah. So we got that out of the way. I don't know.
That was pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, indeed. Dwayne Haskins, I'm looking at where he's
That
projected
was
to
the
go.
most embarrassing thing I've ever heard.
Thank you, Johnny. So moving on, we got Dwayne Haskins, all the comps that, or not comps, projections where he's going to go. It's the only one that I would probably pick him over Bosa is if he goes to the Giants. I'm a Dwayne Haskins Bengals card,
Yeah.
Redskins,
Yeah.
so that's mine.
Yeah,
that's my 2 cents.
I like the way you brought teams into it a little bit, but again, look at Baker Mayfield, Browns. That team has been so frowned upon for the longest time, and all of a sudden Baker Mayfield, Browns stuff.
But he was a quarterback that went number
right.
He went 1-1.
I get that.
Dwayne Haskins isn't going to go.
But if Bosa goes 1,
Defensive end.
I get it. But
I don't know, to me it's Cleveland was a frowned upon team, but they were such a cool, hip joke of the NFL that he made them.
They were the laughing stock. Let's not beat around the bush. They were the laughing stock of the NFL for a decade.
If he went to Jacksonville, and even if he went number 1 in Jacksonville, it's and he kind of turned around, it's the fact that he's with Cleveland and they're throwing huge parties the day they win their first game in 2 years, that made it a lot cooler too. He had that swag with him, who brought it in the building, and he totally seemed to turn that whole franchise around. Honestly, I think the Browns was a perfect place for him. Couldn't have been a better situation.
Yeah, that's true. Especially for his personality and things like that.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how popular this series is. Like I said, it's tough for breakers because you don't have an NFL team right away unless you're doing your breaks based off of conference or team or number draft or something like that. So yeah.
I think it'll be super popular on Friday night.
Yeah.
Right after the draft, those guys are going to be flying off the shelves. Because if Murray goes number 1, that'll be a huge chase for that series. I mean, even if
it depends on the quarterbacks. The series does depend on the quarterbacks.
Right. And it's unfortunate because there's so many good athletes in the draft and stuff, and if you do get a quarterback 1 overall, that just makes that series more and more valuable. Right. So, talked a little bit about the cards, not too much today. One of our main focuses today for the episode is baseball. And we have a couple new topics we're going to do, pardon me. The next thing we're going to talk about, before we get into baseball, NFL futures. I'm going to stay on the train of the NFL.
A little taste of gambling.
NFL futures, these are us gamblers, and my Bovada account is locked at the moment for too much deposits into it. But the NFL futures, your odds, who is your yes team that you would bet on for their over-under wins before the season starts? And then who is your no team?
So who's your lock and who's your fade?
Exactly. Exactly. Adam, I kind of want you to start. You seem to have the papers in front of you pretty ready to go.
You know what? I was looking, and I mean, it definitely depends on where you're looking at your totals. But it was a lot easier to pick unders than overs, because I think a lot of these are dead on, as they should be. I mean, they're supposed to be right there. But my big one, I'll start with my fade.
Mind if I take a little
Yeah, absolutely. My fade lock is Pittsburgh. I think they're going for 9 right now. I think depending on where you're placing the bet, they're at 9. But Pittsburgh under 9. I just don't see it. I think that division is going to be ran by the Browns. I think the Ravens will still have some playoff level experience and games left in them, where Pittsburgh, with them losing Bell, not that they had last year, but losing Brown, and just kind of the turmoil that seems to be going on in that locker room right now, I don't think Pittsburgh's going to put up 9 wins. I think if you go 9-7 in that division, you're going to make the playoffs, whether it be division winner or a wild card team. I don't see them at 9. I don't think they make the playoffs. I think they're right around 8-8, 7-9, but that's my lock as my fade.
As your
go under.
no-go.
Go under.
They will not go over 9 wins.
Yep.
They will not. Griffin,
Go under 9.
you got your no-go, your fade?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Eagles as my no-go fade, whatever you wanna call it.
Yeah.
They're right now at 9.5. I don't think they win 9 games. I think they go 8-8.
Wow.
I think the hype train around the Eagles is kind of, past the station, whatever. I mean, I just don't see it this year for them. There's nothing about the Eagles this year that makes me go, oh yeah, the Eagles. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's just. And in that division too, you got. I don't think the Giants are going to be as bad as they were last year. I think the Cowboys are going to be 10-6 last year.
Yeah, 10-6 made the
I
playoffs.
think they could be around that too. The Redskins, they're kind of a wild card because you don't know their quarterback situation. But the Eagles, their secondary last year was really bad. Yeah, it took a sharp dip from their Super Bowl year. Their D-line is aging. You look at guys like Chris Long, and is Michael Bennett still on the team?
He's in New England, I think.
In New England, yeah. Yeah, it's just there's not the same kind of energy around the Eagles this year as in last year they were defending Super Bowl champs, and the year before they all these young defenders coming up. And I just don't know. I don't know. I don't see it this year for Philadelphia. I think they're going to be under 9.5.
I have a little bit of a vendetta against the Eagles because they did knock the Bears out of the playoffs, and we are Bears fans, but don't want to see the Eagles succeed either.
I mean, they won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They had their fun.
Yeah, they're done. That's enough of that. That's enough of that.
Yeah.
My pick to fade is the exact same as Adams. I couldn't see the Steelers getting over 9. I mean, lost Antonio Brown, they lost Le'Veon Bell. And not that they had him last year, but just another good option for them. But I just don't see it. I mean, how much can Juju Smith-Schuster and Ben Roethlisberger click?
It's a big difference too when you're being a number 2 paired with a guy who's probably the best receiver in the league, and now the number 2 becomes the number 1. I mean, the coverage has changed.
Yep.
I think Juju can do it. I'm a huge Juju fan. I think he's a great guy, great player.
We're a big Juju podcast.
Yeah, we are very pro Juju.
But it's going to be a different experience. Not that I don't think he can do it, but I think it's going to take some time for him to adjust. And by the time they adjust, the team adjusts, it might be too late. And again, Big Ben, he's never going to play a full season healthy.
Right.
Their defense too. I don't think their defense. I mean, depends on obviously this is all pre-draft talk. It's gonna teams can change a lot
For sure.
post-draft, but looking at their defense right now, it obviously is horrible that what happened to Ryan Shazier. That was their guy. That was the leader of their defense. And when he went out, last year, it just seems like they weren't that same elite Pittsburgh Steelers defense that their identity kind of was built around. But then you saw that kind of switch when you had Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown and then Juju Smith-Schuster come in. Their identity switched to an offensive team.
Right.
Can they keep up that same offensive pace? I don't think so either.
And a
I'm
much
with
better
you guys.
division too.
Yeah, I mean the Browns. Talk about how much difference a year can make. They head into last year after an 0-16 season. They go 7-9-1, I think it was, or 7-8-1. The following year, and now all of a sudden you make some moves in the offseason, you get Odell Beckham, and boom, you're the favorite in the AFC North.
Yeah. So there's our fades, our no-goes on the overs.
Take the unders.
Take the unders.
The unders.
Hammer the
Lock,
unders.
the under locks.
Yes. Under locks.
For the overs.
Who is your overlock?
It depends on where you get it here because I'm seeing both. I'm seeing 8.5 and I'm seeing 9. If you can get them at 8.5, Dallas all the way. I mean, they were 10-6 last year. Again, we talked about the division a little bit when you mentioned Philadelphia. I think they make the playoffs. I think 9-7 gets you in, but I still think they win that division. Anytime you got probably the best running back in the NFL, you like your chances.
They're at 9. They're at 9.
It depends on where you look. It's a 9, but some places have them at 8.5.
Okay.
I like them a lot at 8.5. I think 9 makes me a little nervous, but if you can get down to 8.5, that's my hard knock. They're a playoff team. I mean, I think you get it.
Yeah. I mean, Dak's a winner. Dak and Zeke, I mean, they'll carry
Dak
the
makes
offense
me a little
enough.
nervous always, but he's got so much around him.
Yes, that's what
The Cooper trade was
The Cooper was huge.
huge for
Did they
them.
pick up? Am I wrong? Did they pick someone else up offensively this year?
Well, Alan Hearns will be back
Alan
from
Hearns
his
is back.
injury.
I think I like it.
Gallup will take another year forward.
Gallup was solid.
Yeah.
Like I said, you got Zeke. Offensive line is stellar.
Mhm.
So who even cares who's on defense at that point after the guys we just named?
Right.
Yeah, they're going to
The
be
defense is good too. I mean, they have a solid defense.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, throw anyone else out
So there you go. There's your over.
There's my overlock.
Okay. Griff?
I think this one might shock you guys a little bit. I'm gonna go with Matty Ice and the Atlanta Falcons to go over 8.5 this year.
Wow.
I think last year, just everything that could go wrong for them did go wrong. Their defense was beat to all heck. They lost Deion Jones, Keanu Neal. It seemed like they lost a key guy at every single position on defense last year. So when their defense is healthy, I think they could be a mid to upper level kind of 15 to 10 range defense, and then you know what you're gonna get from that offense.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna go 9-7 this year. I think they get over 8.5.
Sneak in last wild card spot.
Yeah,
Right
yeah,
behind the Saints in that division.
I think the Saints are still obviously the team to beat in that division. And I think even it's gonna be weird this year seeing the Buccaneers without Dirk Cutter was their guy.
Yeah.
Now it's Bruce Arians.
Yeah.
Seeing him back on the sidelines, they call him one of the many quarterback whisperers in the league.
Sure.
Can he sway Jameis Winston to be a good boy and perform on the field and off the field, obviously? But I mean, we'll see. That division is going to be very interesting too. I mean, the Panthers, is Cam Newton going to play this year? Who knows?
There's some wins to be had in that
With the uncertainty behind them, I think Atlanta could sneak in 9-7.
I like that. All right. Here's mine. I mean, again, it's another thing. Adam, if you can get him at 8.5, take him at 8.5. If you get him at 9, it's a little shaky. But I like the Ravens. I think the Ravens did pretty good in the offseason. I think Mark Ingram fits that team very well.
No more Flacco.
No more Flacco, Lamar Jackson all the way. I'm a big Lamar Jackson guy. I think he'll mature over the offseason. And again, this is pre-draft, so I think you can get him at 8.5. Take the Ravens for the over. Lamar Jackson.
too.
Yeah, Earl Thomas, another good defensive pickup.
Mark Ingram, you said.
Yeah, I mean they had arguably one of the better off seasons in terms of guys who will step in and perform right away.
Quietly good offseason.
Yes.
I feel like the Ingram and the Thomas moves are both under the radar.
Did they get any receivers?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I just
Yeah.
remember hearing that Ingram's huge and Earl Thomas
A
are
lot of receivers in the
really
draft,
big
though.
guys.
They're
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
going to be a run-first team, obviously, of Lamar
Right.
Jackson and all those running backs. You add Mark Ingram to the mix. But I still think, their undoing last year was couldn't throw the ball. They were one-dimensional last year. And teams knew what they were going to do towards the end. Obviously, they were running the ball through people. But then once they got to the Chargers, a team they played for the second time that season, you saw them just completely shut down the option game, and then Lamar Jackson had to throw it and didn't really turn on so well.
Right.
So
It's still a point to be proven is if Lamar can
throw it
figure
consistently.
it out this year.
They have to be able to mix in the pass with the run, not go run and then, oh crap, the run isn't working, gotta throw the ball. Well, now you're gonna expect to throw. So
Right.
what's
And the defense will be all over those, and
Mhm.
they'll read those like nothing. But yeah, I think my pick for the over to click are the Ravens. So pick the Steelers in the same division for the under.
Right.
Pick the Ravens for the over. So that means the Ravens will have to perform very well against the Steelers, as they should, if everything turns out like it does on paper. But those are pretty good picks. I mean, pretty
I like
diverse.
I like my other lock, and this is not me being biased and has nothing to do with the sweatshirt I'm wearing, but I like Packers under 9. I don't think Packers.
I was gonna pick
What
those.
were they last year? They had 4-12.
7-9.
Seven-
I like 7-9.
They were 7-9?
They were
They were worse.
They had a tie. 7-8-1. They tied with the
Minnesota.
Vikings.
They were that average last year? I thought they were worse for some reason.
That's the thing is they did a lot of moves off season this year. I mean, a lot of guys they added to defense, but with a new coach, might take some time getting used to a division that's pretty good. I mean, you got the Bears, you got the Vikings, and even the Lions. There's no easy wins in that division.
The thing that kind of scares me about the Packers is they have a loaded draft this year.
That's true.
They
2
have-
first-round
They have
picks.
2 first-round picks. They can pick up a wide receiver.
Yeah.
They might get DK Metcalf or someone like that, some of that caliber. But they're going to be scary after the draft. I think you may regret that decision. I know. I hope they suck.
Yeah. So
Every game.
don't put your money on the Packers under until after the draft.
Right. That's good. That's good.
Wait, you guys hate the Packers, and the Packers
I
have
don't
like
hate the
2.
Packers.
What?
I don't hate them.
Oh, come on. Come on, you're a Bears
I'm a
fan.
Bears fan. I don't
But you don't hate the Packers.
I have some ties to Green
Do
Bay.
you hate the Packers?
I don't love the Packers.
Come on, say it.
I don't love the
Say it.
Packers.
I hate the Packers when we play.
Okay, well, I absolutely hate the Raiders, and they have 3 first-round picks this year. So I'm a little nervous. John Gruden. Judging off of what he's done in the past, I think he'll run that ship right into a rock, an iceberg, or somewhere. I don't know. But
You don't
they do
trust
have
John Gruden.
what?
You don't like John Gruden.
No, man.
Put him
Don't
next
like
to
John
Tony
Gruden.
Russo.
Put him right next to Cardinals.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
God.
yeah. Cardinals and the Raiders probably right up there with my 2 most despised sports
Cardinals are
franchises.
baseball, right? Because nobody actually hates the Cardinals in football.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Obviously.
Even recognize the Cardinals are a
Yeah,
team right now.
But yeah, the Raiders is another team, like you're just talking about the 2 picks with the Packers, the 3 picks with the Raiders. They have the 4th, the 24th, and 27th. When they traded those picks for Amari Cooper, they traded Cooper and Khalil Mack, they were like, oh, the Bears and the Cowboys are going to be like 10 to 15.
Right.
Oh, no, we're stuck with 24, 27. Take that group.
That's another good pick. I actually like the Raiders. I think they're at 6.5, I believe. And adding Antonio Brown, 3 first-round picks. They trade up to number 1 and get Kyler Murray. You never know. Actually, I'd rather have Derek Carr, to be honest, than Kyler Murray. They're going to make some moves because we've heard a little, talk this last week about how Gruden and Mayock sent the scouts home during the week because they already knew who they were going to take. So
That's to give Raiders fans a lot of confidence in having those 2 run the ship.
We'll see. We'll see. 3 first-round picks. You got to pray that 2 out of the 3, one of them just turns out as good as.
Well, the fourth overall pick, I think they're going to get Quinnen Williams. I think that's their guy. He's going to be a stud along the defensive line. He's going to cause problems.
I think they'll be good. I think the Raiders will be good. I think around 6. I think you'll see some in a division that there's wins to be had too. It's tough with the Chiefs and the Chargers, but the AFC West is always like.
The Broncos and Flacco?
Yeah.
Broncos and Flacco this year. That's going to be an interesting combo.
So we'll see. We'll see.
I saw a mock draft where the Broncos were supposed to select Dwayne Haskins.
Joe Flacco would be the guy for 4 years.
What did the Ravens give up for Flacco?
Third or fourth, I want to say.
So it's not too bad, but.
No.
Round pick, I think.
But I don't know.
What did the
it makes
Broncos
you-
give up for Flacco? That's what I'm saying. I think it's the Ravens.
I think you're right. It was like a third or
third
fourth.
or
That's not
fourth.
terrible, but still, you think if you're giving up a third,
Fourth
you're going to
sounds
let the guy
better.
play a little
Yeah,
bit.
Fourth sounds
I
better.
think they'll let him play a year or 2.
You think so? Well, I thought I was like, wow, really? They really don't trust Flacco that much already in a new system.
We'll see.
But they're going to have to pay Chris Harris or trade him. He just came out yesterday and said, I want a new deal or trade me. So they're going to have to pay Chris Harris Jr., who's been a top 10 corner in the league for as long as I can remember.
What do the Broncos at right now? They're at,
Over under, well, I'm gonna guess it's gonna be 5.5. 6.
That low? With Flacco? I think they're solid. I think they're going to be
Put
7.
Flacco on a pedestal
They're
like
going to be
that.
7. If there's one thing Joe Flacco's good for, he's going to go anywhere between 9 and 7 and 7.
they're at 6.5.
You can.
Depends
Really?
on,
I think you can book the Broncos this year being no worse than 7 and 9, but no better than 9 and 7, because Joe Flacco is their quarterback.
So 8 and 8's a good bet.
So 8 and 8 is a solid bet.
They're at 6.5, so you're good on them.
All right.
6.5, 7. What was that? 6.5 and 7.
I was guessing 5.5 to
That's
6.
it.
Low. That's too low for a Joe Flacco-led team.
But you
That's
got to think
too
about
low.
it too. You're playing the Chiefs and the Chargers
Yeah.
twice. I mean, call the Broncos what you want, but you're playing the Chiefs and the Chargers twice. I think that's
4 losses.
I mean, the Chargers are prone to having some slip-ups here and there.
It's the NFL. Every week to week, there's
It's a new team.
it's a new team that
Right.
gets the upset happening. So
Unless you're
They did
The
beat
Patriots,
the
you'll
Chargers
change it.
last year with Case Keenum as their quarterback.
wasn't that a
so-
snow out, like super snowy though?
No, it was in Los Angeles, and the Chargers just played a horrible game. Let
It
the
happens.
Broncos
It's
hang
the NFL.
around. Yeah, I know, but it's like you're saying, like the Chiefs and the Chargers are just 2 automatic losses, but no, you never know exactly.
they should be off.
Well, yeah, that's the beauty of what we're doing right now. Is on paper,
Yeah.
we know everything, but once the game starts, it's like, oh, that guy got hurt.
I think the only thing we know about the NFL is that nothing on paper matters.
Yeah.
It's never actually.
It's fun to talk about it, though. Obviously,
Yeah. I mean, all the previous things we were saying were if everything lines up on paper, and then you say nothing ever happens like it should on paper. Yeah, exactly. So NFL futures, all the gamblers out there, there's your locks, your lead pipe locks for the season. Who
I'm
would
feeling
go
good about my
yes?
Falcons pick. I'm feeling good about the Falcons.
I agree with you.
I don't like your Broncos pick. But so a new thing we're going to try to do, we're going to try to work the MLB into this a little bit. Each of us have brought one guy who's hot and one guy who's cold. And Griffin, if you have your 2, I'd like you to start this one out. One guy who's red hot right now in the MLB.
I think you give a couple. You have a couple.
Yeah, I got two guys who are blistering hot right now. One guy who's 4th in the MLB in average, one guy who's 6th. Well, the guy who's 4th, I'll start with him. Jorge Polanco.
Yeah.
Shortstop for the Minnesota Twins, 78 at-bats. He's batted .372.
Solid.
4 homers and 9 RBIs. So the Twinkies this year, I mean, I'd like to see someone other than the Indians win that AL Central. I mean, I don't know. Could
Yeah,
be,
that's a division that any of those teams right now, I mean, nobody's really out of it.
a couple of guys,
I
Jorge
feel like
Polanco
the
get hot.
Twins last year did a similar thing. They kind of took over the division early, and all of a sudden just sort of like drifted. Indians win. So
Yeah, true.
it's kind of sad to see because you do want to see someone else beside the Indians, and the Twins have a good young ball club.
New manager, Rocco Baldelli, he's
Love that
on
name.
fire from
Love that name.
not
It's a
too
good
long
name.
ago. So.
Yeah, he was on the Devil Rays. He was one of the original Devil Rays.
Yeah, he's brought a spark. He's brought that young
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah, there you go, Adam. Who's your?
I had a couple, but mine one that really stands out to me that most people probably don't even know his name. He was part of the trade last year for Chris Archer, and this actually kind of piggybacks. I got two guys.
I know who it is.
Austin Meadows.
Yes.
Okay.
He was a top prospect last year for the Pirates, and he got traded over to the Rays. And this dude is just mashing. He's hitting, what has he got? 351 right now with 6 homers for the Rays. I mean, who's watching Rays right now? Nobody. But not even, not even to mention, our social media guy Kyle from Tampa. He's mashing. But my other guy who's hot comes on the pitcher side. Tyler Glasnow also came over in that trade for Chris Archer. So the Rays are just stacked right now with talent from that trade. And Glasnow, he's 4-0 with a 153 RA and 5 stars.
That's solid.
I mean, you're
That's
telling
very
me
good.
you got Glasnow and you got Meadows. For Chris Archer, a solid player, but man, you got 2 guys who look like they're going to be there for a long time in Tampa Bay. So those are my two guys right now.
And I bet, when that trade was made, Tampa Bay fans at the time were like, oh my God, we're getting rid of Chris Archer. He's been one of our best pitchers for how long? How long was he there? 4 or 5 years?
Almost longer than that. He came up fairly young.
Yeah. So like, oh my, this has been our go-to guy. Now we have 2 people we never heard of, but look how much that's panned out.
Yeah,
now.
both guys for the Pirates were top prospects. I think Glasnow for a while was top 2 or 3, and then they brought him up, and for a year or 2, he just kind of hung around as 5th starter. I think he finished kind of in the bullpen for the Pirates, and I think they gave up on him a little bit. So he was almost a second-tier part of that deal, where Meadows was one of their top prospects. But being an outfielder with a good outfield, you had Polanco and Marte, and guys who looked like they were going to be there for a while for Pittsburgh, Meadows and Glasnow, and there's a couple other throw-ins in that deal are just tearing it up for the Rays right now.
That's awesome. I mean, that's if you're making a trade for prospects, that's exactly what
it's
you
a
want.
poster
That's
for,
literally.
let's make a
Yep.
deal.
Let's work on 2 years from now instead of right now. And that's panning out perfectly. My guy who's hot in baseball right now is George Springer from the Houston Astros. Over the last 7 games, I think he's batting .333 with 3 home runs, 8 RBIs in the last 7 games. I mean, he's a guy who's been pretty consistent for the Astros now, and he's a good ball player.
Oh yeah, you know what you're gonna get from George Springer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a
I think so, no
classic
surprise.
5-tool
Yeah.
outfielder.
Yeah, I mean, you guys brought up names that some people may not have heard of.
Yeah,
But
Jorge
I'm just
Polanco,
giving
Austin
credit
Meadows.
where credit's due. George Springer's solid.
He was World Series MVP too,
Yep.
too?
Sure was.
I had a guy, my second guy who was hot. I don't think anyone really talked about this guy. Second baseman for the New York Metropolitans.
McNeil.
Yes,
Jeff McNeil.
Jeff McNeil, 6th in the MLB in average, hitting .368, 76 at bats, 1 homer, 11 runs batted in. And the Mets are, I think they're currently, as of April 24th today, when we're recording this, they are in first place in the National League East.
The Mets are, buy the Mets in these Bowman breaks.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
You got Alonso.
Yeah.
These rookies are just tearing it up. Nimmo, he's not this year, he's not a rookie, but he was last year, year before.
He's good too.
I mean, they're just churning talent out through that pipeline. So, yeah, look for them in Bowman, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I mean, Bowman 2019 is just as popular as it was last time we chatted.
Yeah.
If you hit a Met right now, hold on to that because they're just forwarding talent through their pipeline right now.
They're killing it. I had Hunter Dozier on my list as well.
Okay.
First baseman, third baseman, he's mashing.
He's a great baseball.
A guy who I loved.
Hunter Dozier.
A guy I've loved for a long time, and I wish he wasn't on this team, but Clint Frazier.
Ooh,
For
yes.
the Yankees. He
Okay.
had that flow. I mean, he had that flow when he was with the Indians, that red flow. I mean, sick as hair in MLB, and actually the minors, but traded over to the Yankees for Andrew Miller a couple years ago. Traded over there with Justice Sheffield, and he's finally up in the bigs. And probably the quickest batsman I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's sick.
The dude just
Sick.
twitches his forearms and it's a full-on swing, 420 feet on the
Yeah.
ground. So
You feel
he's
like-
killing it too. I mean, he's not even necessarily playing every day. I know a lot of guys are injured, so he's playing by default, but I don't think he's going anywhere.
No way.
I love Clint Frazier.
I like that when a guy from the minors shows up when a person is injured and says, hey, you guys can't set me back down, look how well I'm performing. I mean, we've seen that with the Cubs too, like guys like Albert Almora.
David Bodie.
Yeah, exactly. Guys that are here to stay because of the way they perform when someone can't perform. And
Right.
Clint Frazier's a good one. I saw a stat about Frazier, he has very similar numbers to like Mike Trout in his first opening
Whoa,
season.
we're
It's
going
like
there.
a
We're
decent,
going there.
like getting decent time.
Yeah.
I forget the number, but to like a select amount of bats, he had pretty much identical stats to an early Mike Trout.
Yeah.
So, not gonna make the comparison yet, by no means.
A little early.
We're getting there.
Because Mike Trout is a generational guy,
We'll make that comparison after Frazier wins 2 or 3 MVP awards.
Yeah.
Then it's fair.
which may be a while because he's got to compete with the guy he's trying to be like.
Yeah.
How about for guys that are iceberg cold?
Yeah, who's in the icebox right now?
Who's in the
I'll start it off
icebox?
with Donnie's favorite player of all time, ye old bat licker,
Oh,
Yasiel
okay.
Puig.
Oof,
He's currently hitting 183 for his
Good.
new team,
good.
the Cincinnati Reds. You know, they call that a hitter's ballpark,
Yeah,
but he's
that's
he's
Great
yet
hitting-
to
great hitting
embrace
counts,
that. 183 and 71 at bats
Great.
for
That's
Yasiel Puig.
I don't like him, if you can tell. I don't like his attitude. I don't like his attitude. I don't like seeing guys struggle, but I like seeing him struggle.
Well, yeah, after the series that he had against the Cubs
That's probably
2
why.
years ago,
Yeah.
when the bat licker.
What is Kemp?
nickname
What's Kemp doing for the Reds? You know, how is that trade looking right now for the Reds? I mean, I know it's a little bit of a salary dump, getting rid of Homer Bailey. and
Well, it
stuff.
kind of looks bad for both of them. It's like the Reds get all these aging players that the Dodgers wanted to clear cap space to get Bryce Harper for. They didn't get Bryce Harper.
But the,
So it's like what? It's like, yeah.
the Dodgers
It's
picked
a
up
wash.
Jeter Downs. Though. He's a stud prospect. He's low minors right now. Another Bowman guy. He was
Jeter
a
Downs?
Jeter Downs.
It's a
yeah.
great baseball
Yeah,
guy.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
like
they won that trade.
his name alone, he's gonna be an
That's a
all-star.
Bowman guy.
Yeah, he's a Bowman guy. He's a Dodger now. So I mean, I think the Dodgers still have a lot to hope for in him. But yeah, I thought that was a weird trade last year.
That's
But
great.
They get Alex Wood too. The
Alex
Reds
Wood,
get
yes.
Alex Wood, yeah, he's trying to
Matt
revive
Kemp.
his career. Matt
Puig.
Kemp, Puig.
Puig,
It was those three, and then the Reds sent out Homer Bailey, that huge contract. The Dodgers just ate.
Homer Bailey, the eternal Red. I feel like
Yeah.
Homer Bailey's been on the Reds since he was like
I
16.
think he's on the Reds.
Wasn't like Bronson Arroyo?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Bronson Arroyo
The
was on the Reds.
straight leg.
He was on the Reds for like 403 years when he was in the MLB.
Yeah.
My cold guy, Jesus Aguilar.
Ooh,
Ooh, yeah, I
Over
want to see it. I mean,
the
I-
big Brewer
Yeah, he's
He's a
bomber.
Cubs fan, I hate to see
Yeah,
it.
that's another good one for us. The last 7 games, batting .95 or .095.
Good.
He has a whopping 0 home runs and 0 RBIs.
And that's what he's paid to do. So if you're not hitting
Yeah.
homers or driving in runs,
You better find a new
it's gonna
spot,
be a
young man.
tough way to find playing time.
Yeah, I mean, as a Cubs fan, again, like, he's a dangerous bat in lineup, and if he's not performing, that's something we like to see. But Brewers probably going, like, we got to get this guy going quick.
Unfortunately for us as a Cubs fan, that means Eric Thames plays, and that means he's a Cubs killer.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
Eric
he's
Thames
good.
really
it's
is.
like, let's keep Aguilar in the 200s, low 200s, so he's still playing, but he's
Yeah,
not making
I like
Thames
that.
come through.
It was funny,
Smash.
I kind of walked past you when we were in the office, and I said, hey, when did Christian Yelich get so good at baseball? Because that guy is fantastic.
Have you guys taken a look? Well, one of my friends turned me on to this the other day. He's like, look at Christian Yelich's home and away splits.
Oh, it's
He
insane.
said all of his home runs and all of his runs batted in are at home.
He's hitting like
Or
200.
at home. At Miller Park is like 13 home runs, like
Yeah.
30 some RBIs, and on the road he's hitting like 250. No home runs, no
That's
RBIs.
awesome.
It's like, are you kidding me?
His strikeout rate, I think it's like 22% on the road, and at
Yeah.
home it's like 4. I mean, it's
Wow.
just, it's bizarre.
As a guy who's never really strikes out anyway.
I'd be curious to see how many home games they played. I mean, they might have played a lot of early home games. It's like 3-1 home and away right now, so it might be a small sample size, but I mean, those numbers don't lie. It's pretty strange. My
old guy.
my not
Yeah.
is a piece, a guy who came in as a piece to kind of fill in the order for a guy who left in Bryce Harper, Brian Dozier.
Ooh.
Another name you kind of forget about. I mean, he was in a small market in Minnesota, had some
Right.
great years, came over to LA, tried to help that playoff push, helped a little bit. But it was a free agent signing for Washington. Supposed to take some of the power hitting back, gain some back that they lost in Harper, but he's at 179 right now. I don't even think he has He's got 4 homers, but if we're not hitting 200,
You're cold.
you're cool.
He's always been that
He's
guy
always
that gets
been
like
low.
240 but gets like 30 home runs or
Yeah.
something like that.
He's just not. I mean, for what they brought him in for, I think they thought a little bit, a little more hope for him. It's still early, 179 receiver, so he's right around 200. Guys start out slow, so we could be talking about this in 2 months, and Dozier could be 250 right now, 275 mashing. But yeah, I thought that number jumped out to me, considering he was supposed to bring a lot more to the lineup than what he's
Yeah, Dozier, I mean, he was extremely good for the Twins. I mean, he sort of built a reputation
He
for
was the
himself.
Twin.
He was the go-to guy for the Twins. So that's your MLB. How do you guys have any more? Any more
I
Colts?
mean, I said some of my nods that really stuck out to me was had to do with the pitchers. I mean, Jose Ramirez right now, he's hitting 157 for the Indians.
Yeah.
Former MVP qualifier candidate. I mean, he was just stood out to me. Same with Corey Kluber. He's 2-2 with a 5.88 ERA.
Wow.
When was the last time Corey Kluber had an ERA over 3? Aaron Nola, same thing. He's got an ERA close to 7. He's 2-0, but ERA close to 7 isn't
That's
where we
brutal.
want to end up. So.
Yeah, Nola. I mean, last year Nola was like exploded off the scene.
He took over. I mean, he was supposed to be one of the Cy Young candidates going into this season. And again,
Yep.
you're 2-0, but a lot of people don't look at wins and losses anymore. If your ERA is around 7, something needs to change.
Jacob DeGrom.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect example from last year, Jacob DeGrom. He had like a 1.5 last year, right? With how many wins did he have?
8.
Yeah. He said if the runs,
or something.
if the Mets could get more than 3 runs, he would be like 28.
Yeah.
You know, 28 wins.
The highest paid player in baseball in terms of average annual value, Manny Machado, is hitting 241 right now
Yeah.
in 83 at bats. So that's not what he's getting paid.
It's early, but
Yeah, 241.
You have bigger hopes for
241.
If you're a free agent, you have hopes for
He's
him.
not. He will never live up to what he's being paid for.
I mean,
You're
you
paying a
gotta
guy
come
that
close
much.
to it. 241 is like, I'll pay you a penny for that. Like, seriously.
He's getting a lot more than a penny.
My other guy, it's Starling Marte, who's hitting 203 and 69 at bats.
I think his battle's a little bit injury, right? A little bit. Maybe I can rock with it. So if you're under 200 at this point, you need to kick it up.
Just a skosh above
Yeah.
203.
Yeah, okay.
Skosh.
Just a skosh.
So there's your hot and cold for this week.
What'd you say? It's the first 20% of the season.
Yeah.
How many games have been played?
I think right around between 20 and 25, 10, more so towards 25.
What are the Cubs? 11 and 10, 12 and 10.
But, and then they've like had like 10 off days.
Yeah, it feels like they're off every Monday and Thursday.
Yeah.
That's a nice week.
Yeah.
It's a nice work week. So now we're going to roll into our most consistent segment. And it's going to be 20 questions. If this is your first time watching, we will just ask yes and no questions and try to get to the bottom of the player that you are thinking of by 20 questions. And this week, I was the first week, Bruce Smith, Paul Canargo, Adams, week 3.
I got a good one. I think
Okay.
this might be like a call in the beginning of the episode. I think this might be my first
The
stump.
first stump.
You're going to hear the name and
Got
you're going to be like, oh, like, yeah, of course,
Yeah.
you know that guy, but you're not going to. It's going to be a little tough to get there.
Thinks he's got us.
Yeah, so
Thinks he's
again,
got
we
us.
can only ask yes or no questions and get to the bottom of who Adam has in
I
his
thought about
head.
this one. I'm going to be disappointed if you do that. So.
Alright, so Ruben, you want to start it
We
up?
gotta start with, obviously, we
We gotta
gotta
get sport.
identify
We
sport.
gotta get sport. That's been the biggest thing.
Okay, so we went football with you, I was baseball.
He's
You think
going
gonna-
soccer.
You think he's gonna, you think it's either gonna be NBA or NHL? Do you think? are you-
NBA.
Okay,
Adam doesn't know anything
go
about
for
hockey.
it, go for it.
That's not true.
I feel
I
like
can
he's
Google
got
it.
scary.
Yeah, that's true.
I know how to use
You
Wikipedia.
can't Google
I know how to use
it. Go ahead.
Did he play in the NBA or is he in the NBA?
Yes.
So he's in the NBA.
No, is that
That's
two?
my question.
That's two. That's two.
That's 2, yes. He's currently in the NBA.
Alright, I'm on it. Go ahead. Question 3.
Is he playing the Western Conference?
Yes.
Oh, man, we're 3 for 3. You thought this was gonna be a stump. Careful. Is it?
Don't.
Yeah, because technically, guess who it is. It's
Okay, current NBA player in the
No,
Western.
no.
Current NBA player in the Western Conference.
Okay.
Through 3 questions.
You got 3.
Is he on a team that made the playoffs?
No.
Okay, that cuts out a bunch of teams.
That's about 8.
About 8 teams.
That's my bad laugh again.
Yep.
It's lost.
Cut that out. Alright, so we cut out all the playoff teams in the Western Conference. Go ahead and just try to get a team though, I think. We can waste 2 guesses on
Do
team.
we even go like division. Like I don't even know. Like was it like Pacific Division, like NBA divisions? Those don't even matter. Like I mean, just to try and narrow it down, or do you want to go straight to teams?
I think you should just
Go straight to teams.
guess a team. Guess we can try 2 times to get.
Okay. Okay. Do you have a team in mind? Because I
What do
really
you
have
think?
one.
Yeah, I can think of one.
Okay.
Is he? You want to go?
Okay.
Is he on the Los Angeles Lakers?
No.
It's gonna be harder than I
Why?
thought.
Okay.
Is it a team in the West that's not in the playoffs?
Yeah, but the Lakers would be too obvious.
So
Where are you getting
going off my previous evidence, that was a decent
Okay,
guess.
is he on the Suns?
Yes.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, it's over.
go.
Now we can just spend the rest of the guesses on the guy. Did he go to the University of Kentucky?
No.
Ah, they're gonna D-book.
I think it's 7.
Okay, it's your turn. You look at me real weird, like Popeye.
No, I'm just like, the Suns. I don't really know that many players on the Suns. Obviously, you get Devin Booker.
Yeah, Eric Bledsoe. You got
Bledsoe's on the Bucks. So
Yeah,
I think- That's why I feel pretty good about
Eric
this.
Bledsoe. He was on the Suns last year, wasn't
Like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was last year.
he? Definitely not on the Suns right now.
So I feel good. I feel good.
Is he a front court player? Does he play power forward or center? No,
So he's a guard.
it's a guard. A small forward, shooting guard, point guard. No, it's not Devin
They
Booker.
couldn't narrowed it down anymore.
It's not Devin Booker.
Okay, current guy on the Suns, not
I
Devin
think
Booker.
that's like 8 questions.
Yes,
8
I
questions.
think we
Okay,
passed.
we'll go 8. I thought it was 9.
Okay, so this
No, we'll go 9. We'll go
No, no,
9.
no,
this is the 10. We have 10 questions to get this. We have probably 4 or 5 players to pick from.
Okay.
Did he attend? Nah, that's a bad question.
I feel like the above average NBA fan at home would be like, I know this.
Yeah, I feel like all the people that are watching that know basketball, like, okay, these guys are idiots for not knowing.
Well, it's not DeAndre Ayton because he's a front court player.
Right.
So.
Who's a point guard for the Suns right now?
Devin Booker? I don't know. He plays shooting guard?
He plays 2.
See, I'm not that. I'm like an avid NBA fan.
You can do this. You know this. You know this. I don't even have a
Oh,
question.
who was that?
I have a question.
That guy that they drafted from Kansas?
Josh Jackson? Did he go to Kansas?
No.
Damn, that was my last hope.
That's 10. That's 10. Yeah.
10 questions to get the point guard.
Like,
We have to know the point guard for the Suns. Right now, we don't know it.
If I had to give you advice, I think you're getting too hung up on his current team. I think you need to think a little
Oh, he's
outside.
older. He's
okay,
older.
so like he's not known for being on the Suns.
Oh! Oh,
Did
that was a really good hint.
that give it away?
No, I still don't know who it is, but
It's
it
not
helps.
like, I'm not telling you, I shouldn't even tell you this because I shouldn't help you, but I'm not telling you he plays whole career at the Suns. It's not necessarily the case.
He's currently on the Suns.
It's currently on the Suns. It's currently
But
under
not
contract.
known for playing on the Suns.
I'm not gonna say he's not known for playing on the Suns, but I'm not saying he is.
Like I
Just
don't
don't get hung up
I
on
don't
being-
follow the NBA enough
Don't
to
get
be
hung
like,
up
oh,
on
like
some
that's their
Suns.
backup point guard. That's their like I know football and baseball way more than I know NBA and NHL.
You know what's kind of sad is I like the NBA a lot.
So you're the basketball guy.
I forgot that
That's
Eric
what I'm saying.
Bledsoe's not.
I know you guys will know who this person is, but
Like I've half heard of him.
don't get hung up on the Suns.
He's on the Suns right now, but his
Think of a
not.
question that will help you narrow it down in basketball terms, not so much just because he's on the Suns.
In terms of basketball stuff,
I'm just saying, like,
Okay.
think of something outside of the Suns roster.
there's something outside of the Suns roster. That's Griffin. It's your turn to ask a question.
You're making this terrible radio by being this
Yeah.
stumped.
Yeah, this is awful.
This-
I'm trying to talk as much as I possibly can. To fill
Let's go.
space. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Did he come from a team that was on the in the playoffs?
Yes, I mean, he's played for multiple teams, but
Playoffs last year. Was he in the playoffs last year?
No.
That
He
doesn't help
himself
it
was
even
not.
a little.
He himself was not in the playoffs.
He himself was not in the playoffs?
No, he was not in the playoffs last year.
So he was on a crappy team last year.
Sure.
He could have been on the Suns last year.
Yeah, okay.
I'm saying don't get hung up on him always playing for the Suns.
I want it. Has he ever played for the San Antonio Spurs?
Honestly, no.
I thought I was onto something, but I wasn't. I want to say I don't. Yeah, I think that's 12. It's taking us 10 minutes to ask 2 questions. I just think that we're at a lack of names right now that we can narrow down to. Everybody watching knows who it is. Except for
It'll be
us.
interesting.
watching
I'm
slash
interested. I'm interested.
Right, everybody watching knows it.
But I'm confident that you know the name.
I could bet you I know that.
If you walked in the building right now, you'd be like, that's who that guy is.
Yeah.
I know you know.
Go ahead. It's your turn to ask a question.
He's
Was he a top? Was he a lottery pick?
yes.
So what? Okay. So, was he a number 1 pick?
No.
Sheesh.
We're 14 questions. We have 6.
What?
Yeah, that's 14.
Oh, I thought you said he went 14. I was like, oh.
No.
That was up the wrong.
Was he a top 10 pick?
You
Yes.
already asked lottery fool.
It could be 16
Oh
through
He was-
10, you know?
Yes, he was top 10.
Figured that.
But like,
We wasted our 17th, 15th question on it.
5 more. Now we know he's a top 10 pick. Did,
Alright,
like, who have the Suns traded away?
Alright.
Like,
Let me dial it in. Yeah, dial it in. Griffin, I have no idea. I want you to say his name so bad. Can we have another hint?
I just have a feeling in my stomach that Brandon Knight.
No.
I don't know.
I won't count that as a question, but it is not.
Is he even on the Suns?
He actually is. I think he might be on the Suns. He might be on the Suns.
I just think point guard.
So you got a top 10 pick currently on the Suns. Top 10 pick currently on the Suns who's a backcourt player.
Backcourt player.
Who has not always been on the Suns.
Who's not, no, he's not on the
And he's
Suns.
not their starting shooting guard or
Suns
their
is
starting
current
small
team.
forward, so it's their point guard.
Adam, is the other point guard?
He plays point.
Ooh.
He's not.
So we clearly don't know who
Hold
the
on a
point.
second.
I wouldn't say he's the point.
But he
he's-
plays
he
point for
plays
them?
point, runs a point, he plays off.
Ooh.
Go.
I got it. I
Go.
think I got it.
Go.
I don't got it.
Go.
I think that I have it though.
No guesses, like narrow down. I feel like if you got it,
I
Go.
want to look at like a second of his Wikipedia page. No,
No.
I want to cheat so
Oh,
bad. It's really bugging
So
me.
you got 3 questions left, and you got me, yes.
Alright, Griffin.
If there was one, if you could get one thing, you would be like, boom, that's who it is.
We need like that one hint that we're missing.
Yeah.
Is he from the United States?
Yes.
Okay.
He's from New York, Illinois. Originally from New York.
Originally from New York.
Which really means nothing.
Oh, I don't know. The whole
Like New York, or like the state.
Oh man.
State.
Meaningless state.
Again, I don't know if that matters, but
Damn, Griffin.
that doesn't count.
Yeah, it counts. I was
He's from
talking.
New York.
Um,
You got two guesses left here. Top 10 pick, Suns, currently on the Suns. Top 10 pick.
Hasn't always been
from
on the
New York.
Suns.
Hasn't always been on the Suns, which means he wasn't drafted by the
He runs
Suns.
the point, but
I was literally just about to guess a college basketball player, like a guy that hasn't been drafted yet. I don't know
That
why.
probably wouldn't be the correct answer.
I don't know why.
Sheesh. What are we dealing with here?
I was hoping you guys would try to narrow down the year he was drafted, where he went to college.
I can't
Oh, okay,
ask that
okay.
though.
Did he play in the ACC conference?
No.
Dude.
Shit.
Again, this is one where I stumped you. It's like you're gonna know it, but
Ah,
Damn it.
We have one
I
left.
picked the
Guess the
Suns.
name. Guess the
You
name.
picked the Suns
Just,
point
you have to
guard.
pick a name now. You have to pick a name now.
If I knew anything, I would know.
he's
this.
been in the news. Like he in 2019 was a current event that was like made national news for him being on the Suns.
I just think Devin Booker.
Again,
I think
it's
Suns.
like, I feel like at
It's
this
like,
point people know who it is. You guys are knowing.
oh yeah, they're like, look at these two idiots.
We're probably the only
Because
good
you
ones.
just
yeah.
missed this news story.
Did it just happen?
It happened in 2019. I mean, he's.
You were the self-proclaimed like
I
NBA
know,
guy.
you're right.
Not-
Look how I
So
see
give me
you
one more
also.
guy. Give me one more guy so I can just tell you who it is. Because clearly,
Just say something.
We're pretty stumped. Hold on. Did he? Oh man, did he get traded in a? No.
It's like
he's
who
been
would the
traded-
Suns
he's been
trade
traded
away?
multiple times.
Who would the
Traded
Suns
multiple
trade?
times.
I think he's probably been traded like at least twice, including undrafted.
Oh,
So that's a hint. That
he's been traded on draft night.
he was not originally drafted.
Oh.
He did not play for the team he was originally drafted by.
Oh, who is it?
Wow. Griffin, we look dumb.
I'm gonna read you off his accolades, since you guys aren't gonna get this. I'm gonna read you off his accolades, and you guys have to tell me who it is. He's a 3-time CBA All-Star, China.
Dude, that's my favorite athlete of all time, and I didn't even get it right.
D-League All-Star Game MVP, National College Player.
It was my favorite athlete of all time.
Is it Jimmer?
It's Jimmer Fredette.
No way!
It's my favorite athlete
Oh
of all
my,
time.
Phoenix Suns.
goodness.
It's my favorite athlete ever, and I didn't get it.
I don't
Wow.
know when he signed. He signed in 2018.
I feel like an idiot.
But like, see, doing all the draft stuff, I would not have gotten Jimmer for
Drafted by the
any of
Bucks,
that.
10th overall in 2011.
That's
Traded the Kings, played 3 years.
that was a good one.
Spent 14 with the Bulls, Pelicans, played D-League.
Yeah, you are like the self-proclaimed biggest Jimmer guy ever.
I am.
You got the
We had
Shanghai
Jimmer
Sharks
stuff come through
jersey.
here all the time. I mean, I don't know, might not have been a year ago, but we've
I'm
had some Jimmer stuff.
probably the biggest Jimmer fan I know.
BYU, College Player of the Year. So I mean, that's a
The
relevant
Shanghai
name.
Sharks for the last 2 years.
That's a bigger name than
He averaged like 35 points a game. 35 points.
6 points. So he's on the Suns now. They signed him
Yeah,
a
he
2-year deal, 2019.
Sure did. Wow, I'm super disappointed in myself.
There you go. There's your first stump on the podcast. Now you guys got to step your game up going forward.
I feel like that also was like a step, like a notch above difficulty from Bruce
No
Smith and Paul Connor.
But again, the name-wise, he was National College Player of the Year. He was a absolute phenom.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you guys would get it when you figured out.
I was just thinking like current. I was just thinking like current guys. Like yeah, but like in terms of when he was drafted, yeah, you did. He got us.
That's what we
got
got. Let's
us.
see some competition here.
I'm so mad right now.
Paul Connor was too easy.
I'm so frustrated with myself that I didn't know that
Bruce Smith.
right off the bat. I should have known it.
Bruce Smith was I would compare him to solid,
Yeah.
just because of his age.
And I didn't know that he was in the NFC or the AFC.
True. That
That probably didn't help you. But then
You're up
Got
next
it.
week. You're doing 20 questions. I can step your game up.
I'm so like
That was a brutal 20 minutes for listeners.
I'm
because that was. If I knew it was going to be that poor, I would not have given that. People at home, the listening hour, just like had to sit through that. That was
Yeah, I apologize to people that watched
Yeah, we
that.
apologize to our listeners. That was.
It might have been a little funny because we struggled pretty hard.
Oh yeah. It was.
But
And probably too, because 90% of people listening to it was Jimmer for that. Because
I can't believe that. I didn't get that.
off guard on the Suns, on guard on the Suns.
I legitimately had. I've had a Jimmer Fredette fathead in my room since like 6 months ago.
Wow.
I'm
We
legitimately.
can edit this part out.
I'm a huge Jimmer Fredette fan. But yeah, that's all she wrote for this episode. Thank you guys for joining us, Adam, Griffin, Donnie. We will see you guys on the next recording, which will be next week, and then we'll have a couple episodes published by then. This is
draft will be over, so
Yep,
we'll know. The
yep.
more in the NBA will be taking place.
Yeah, second round will be in full swing.
Plenty to talk
about.
Semifinals,
Right,
conference
right.
semifinals.
We'll have big draft talk coming up. As we like to move into the memorabilia stuff. We finally have a number to put on some of these guys and what we can expect for these guys signings wise. So things are gonna start moving. Want to see some interaction from the fans. Our first episode 1 was released today, April 24th.
Wednesday, April 24th.
Yep. So check that out, episode 1. I don't know why you would check that out, episode 4. But hey, going forward, we're gonna do a lot of cool stuff here. Thanks all for watching. If this is your third episode, thanks 3 for 3. We'll see you guys very soon.